Two factors seem to plague most sports courts I find on YouTube, and they are the size of the court and the amount of detail on a court. As you can see here is an example of a tennis court design that looks realistic and has all the lines you'd expect to see, so it has the detail. But the dimensions are all messed up, like it's 17 blocks wide when a real tennis court should only be 11 meters wide. Or take this example where the size is fully accurate, but there's just no detail on the lines, so I think this one looks way worse. But the root problem for all of this is of course being that we're using flipping 1 meter wide lines, which is why I personally opt for designs more like this one. So this is a 1-to-1 scale tennis court with all the detail you'd expect. If I just put the dimensions on screen, you can see for yourself all the dimensions of the court. And I can change it to a checkerboard pattern to make it more obvious for if you want to pause here and try and build it for yourself. Now there's a small flaw which you might not have noticed until now with the checker pattern, is that of course the court isn't actually fully symmetrical because the stairs in the middle have to face one way or another, so one side is half a block wider than the other technically. However, looking at it from any other angle than vertically makes it so hardly noticeable. Then to surround the court I've just added iron bars 3 blocks high to represent the fence, with some walls periodically, and then beyond that, if you're building this within a city or a town, which I'll show to you later, it's a good idea to have some kind of edging to the tennis court to set it back from the street, for example some bushes as I've done here. Else you can just have it surrounded by a field. Now, it could be cool for you to have a clay court design like this one where I've just used red sand. It depends on what kind of colour scheme you want to go for. So just replace the lime green terracotta with some red sand, and I think it creates a convincing effect, but I think this would only be suited to certain areas. For example, not really in a very grassy area like this. I don't think it works as well. Next we have this neat little basketball court. Again, I'll put the dimensions on screen for any of you who want to pause here and build it. This design is similar in principle to the tennis court design, so most of the same design techniques still apply. For the net, just pillar up 4 blocks with fences, then create the backboard using black glass panes like this, and for the net place an acacia trapdoor and then a cobweb below it underneath. Now might be a good time to mention that yes, I do realise the lines aren't white, so that might be a deal breaker for you, but I can personally see beyond that and don't view them as a problem. In many ways actually they're more subtle than the thick white lines that are like a meter wide in other designs, which I think makes them seem more realistic and a bit less tacky, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, before we see these in the context of a city, I thought I'd show off this little table tennis design that I use, just in case you're curious. Right, so here are some tennis courts in the middle of my survival city that I'm partway through building, hence why the buildings are currently just facades. But I still thought this example captured how these sports courts could fit into a city, because they add a lot of contrasting flat green space without just looking like a random field in the middle of a city, despite not actually being suited to a city due to their horrible space efficiency. As you can see, there's only 4 courts in this massive area. I felt like it was worth adding it for a Minecraft city because it helps space out the buildings so that, you can actually get a good view of them, and also for survival, it means the city looks bigger even though there are fewer buildings. Anyway, have fun building if you choose to use any of these designs. Like and subscribe if you enjoy these kind of tips and tricks, and thanks for watching.